Welcome to One Tired Teacher, episode 228, Small Steps, Big Leaps, Halloween STEM projects for the elementary classroom. So today we're talking all about some Halloween STEM projects inside your classroom or media center. Halloween, the spookiest time of year, is upon us once again. And while our little goblins and little witches roam the streets searching for candy, why not bring some educational magic into your elementary classroom or your elementary media center? Forget about the typical Halloween crafts, pumpkin carving, and a spooky Halloween tune. It's time to take small steps toward giant leaps with thrilling Halloween STEM activities. You can transform your classroom into a Makerspace activity filled with fun and discovery as students embark on spooky scientific adventures based on some Halloween story favorites. So grab your cauldron and broomstick because we're about to brew up some wickedly witty Halloween story stations that will have your students screaming for more Makerspace moments. Hope you stick around.
Welcome to One Tired Teacher. And even though she may need a nap, this teacher is ready to wake up and speak her truth about the trials and treasures of teaching. Here she is, wide awake. Wait, she's not asleep right now, is she? She is awake, right? Okay. From Trina Debery Teaching and Learning, your host, Trina Debery.
Hey, so today we are talking about STEM projects, Makerspace projects that we can use during Halloween. So I hope that you are excited because I'm excited to talk to you about it. So first of all, I want to let you know that this episode is being sponsored by my Halloween Makerspace story stations. So much fun. When the full moon rises and pumpkins glow, where do your young minds go? To the Makerspace! Yay! What can we create for Halloween this year? Teachers, are you seeking a magical mix of Halloween fun and STEM learning? Your cauldron of creativity awaits. Introducing Halloween Makerspace task cards. Dive into STEM challenges that unleash the power of imagination in every young wizard and witch. From designing spooky spider webs to crafting creepy castles, my students couldn't get enough. Brimming with engaging Halloween activities, these task cards are your ticket to a world of wonder, innovation, and discovery. Look what I made, a haunted maze. It really works. Every card is a new adventure, a new challenge, a new masterpiece to be crafted, and don't be fooled by the spooky theme. The real magic is in the skills they'll hone. STEM learning meets spooktacular creativity. It's the Halloween treat my classroom needed. So teachers, brew up a storm of inspiration this October. Fetch your set of Halloween Makerspace task cards now exclusively in my store on TPT, Trina Debery Teaching and Learning. After all, 'tis the season to make and create and innovate. Happy hauntings. So I hope you'll grab those to have added to your classroom. You definitely are not going to want to miss them. All right, let's talk about small steps and big leaps. Why is it important to have Halloween STEM projects, or why are they so much fun? And I think part of the thing is that who says that Halloween has to be all about costumes and candy? So we don't want to just, create the spooky witch or fearsome vampire or creepy crawlies and all that stuff. That can be so fun. But when we take it up a notch and we add some Halloween STEM projects in the form of Makerspace story stations, these devilishly delightful activities combine the excitement of Halloween with the wonders of science, technology, and engineering and math. It's like having a bubbling cauldron filled with Makerspace moments. One of the reasons why Halloween STEM projects are so much fun is because they really allow kids to think creatively and problem solve in a totally different way. Whether they're designing and building their own haunted house from scratch or figuring out how to create a device to give a monster a haircut, these projects engage young minds in hands-on learning experiences beyond textbooks. And that's really where this comes in for me as a creator and also as a lifelong teacher. I want to go beyond the textbooks, and I think real literature in the hands of students is so important. And I also believe that it can include an extension where we have to, use our critical thinking skills, and we have to be creative, and we get to problem solve, and all those things are so, so important. So who wouldn't want to impress their friends with mind-boggling cool creations to hold a load of candy? I mean, come on. How fun is that? But it doesn't really stop there. The beauty of Makerspace and Halloween STEM project lies in their interdisciplinary nature. They encourage kids to explore deeper comprehension while also honing their technical and creative skills by solving the problems inside of favorite Halloween books for kids. From exploring pumpkin inventions to building a solution for a skeleton spook, these projects offer endless opportunities for kids to discover new connections between different ways of thinking. So forget about just bobbing for apples this year and dive into the world of Halloween STEM or Halloween STEAM, STEM plus art activities. So exploring the science behind the Halloween season. So have you ever wondered what it means, what the Halloween science really means? Because it's that time of year. We're getting ready to carve pumpkins. We're still early in September, so I'm really trying to prep you for the season ahead. So if you're like, I'm not quite to October yet, that's okay, because you're going to be ahead this year. That is the goal. I'm going to help you be ahead. That is really, so we don't have to feel flustered and all over the place. So when it's that time of year and candy corns seem to multiply overnight magically, yes, Halloween is around the corner, a holiday that never fails to ignite excitement and intrigue in people of all ages. And instead of trying to fight it, we lean into it, we utilize it to our own advantage, and we tame those crazies that are going on in our students. But have you ever wondered what makes this spooktacular season so fascinating? Let's talk a little bit about the science behind it all and uncover some eerie insights. So first, let's talk about everyone's favorite Halloween treat, candy corn. Love it or hate it. I actually like the candy corn pumpkins, the pumpkin candy. They're not really candy corn. I guess they're candy pumpkins, but they're so yummy. This tricolored confectionery has become synonymous with the spooky season. Did you know that candy corn is made using a technique similar to glass blowing? Which is crazy. By heating and molding a mixture of sugar, corn syrup, and wax on tiny popsicle sticks. Popsicle sticks? What? Candy makers create these iconic kennels we all know so well, making them as appealing visually as they are astronomically. So pretty cool, huh? And candy corn makes the very best materials for creating something like a pumpkin invention, just like in the fun story of Something Pumpkin by Scott Allen. I have a link to this inside the blog post. If you are listening on the podcast, you can find that book on Amazon. So fun. And then you can give your kids those little candy corn pumpkins, which are so addictive, by the way. And you can allow them to build pumpkin creations out of them. So creating Halloween Makerspace story stations. Loving to create a spooktacular Halloween experience that will leave your kids howling with delight? Look no further than Halloween Makerspace story stations. These interactive stations are the perfect way to engage young trick-or-treaters and ignite their imaginations. And the best part, you don't need fancy equipment or expensive materials to bring these stations to life. One idea is to set up a spider web weaving station using nothing more than rubber bands and some wooden dowels. Simply stretch out the rubber bands between the dowels in a zigzag pattern, creating an intricate web for little ghosts and ghouls to navigate. This hands-on activity promotes fine motor skills and encourages problem solving as they figure out how to maneuver through the spider's lair. That's an idea. Another creative option is building blocks transformed into monster houses or even monster towers. Break out those neglected blocks, gathering dust in your closet, and let them unleash their monstrous creativity by constructing their very own Tower of Terror or monster house. Monster houses go great with stories like This Is the House That Monster Built by Steve Metzer. Encourage them to think outside the box by incorporating unusual shapes and angles into their design. They might give Frankenstein's castle a run for its money. Remember, a simplicity can be your greatest ally when it comes to Halloween. And even when it comes to Halloween Makerspace story stations, with just rubber bands, building blocks, and other simple materials found around the classroom or in the media center, you can transform this spooky season into one filled with endless fun and excitement for all ages, even if you're not hosting an entire haunted house. So choosing the perfect focus close reading books, I think that can be key as well. Choosing the perfect focus close reading books can seem more daunting than picking your favorite holiday. With countless options lining bookstore shelves and online platforms, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But fear not. Just like answering those perplexing holiday-themed trivia questions at family gatherings, selecting the right book is all about finding the right fit for you. One key aspect to consider is selecting a book that aligns with kids' interests and curiosity and the age range of kids you teach. Think about what topics or genres captivate kids, from historical nonfiction to gripping thrillers or profound works of literature. By diving into a subject that genuinely intrigues children, their enthusiasm for reading will likely skyrocket. One thing that I used to do in the media center, and I didn't actually put this in the blog, but I did have I had the nonfiction set up they were still by Dewey, but they did have, it was like very organized as far as like, here's the animal section, here's the language section, here's the rocks and minerals section, and whatever. Again, it was following the Dewey Decimal System because some people really wanted to hold on to that. I don't know why, but that's okay. And so, but there was like this very odd, like, not mythical, but kind of like, almost like, and again, legends was an area, but that was with the fairy tales and things like that. But I'm talking about things like Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster. Those kind of books can be really fun to pull out at Halloween. So just, some nonfiction things to think about. And then, and even, is that really nonfiction, or is that really true? That's another thing to answer, but that can be really fun. Whether you lean towards like lighthearted tales or thought-provoking nonfiction, remember that choosing focused, close reading books is ultimately about finding joy in words and in stories that resonate with kids personally. So go ahead and embark on this exciting quest, armored with your wit and your innate curiosity. Over time, kids will discover hidden literary gems just waiting within their reach. To help you find some excellent stories for Halloween Makerspace, I am including a list of books I use to create for my Halloween Makerspace story stations. So I think I talked a little bit about them at the beginning. My Halloween story stations are based on 10 stories. And so here are the 10 titles that I used in this particular resource, which you can find on TPT. And I used Turkey Trick or Treat by Wendy Silvano. So fun. And I have links to all of these in the blog post. So if you want to check that out, it'll take you right to Amazon. Even Monsters Need Haircuts. So funny, by Matthew McElliott. Something Pumpkin by Scott Allen, Skeleton for Dinner by Marjorie Culler, I Need My Monster by Amanda Knoll, This is the House That Monster Built by Steve Metzger, T-Rex Trick or Treats by Louis G. Grambling, The Little Old Lady Who Wasn't Afraid of Anything by Linda Williams. So fun. I loved that. It was like one of my first Halloween books that I ever read to my students in 1997. I still have that copy. It's so old. One Halloween Night by Mark Teague, and The Halloween Tree by Susan Monterey. Creating a perfect Makerspace extension with STEM challenges. All right. So creating a perfect Makerspace extension for young scientists with STEM challenges requires simple materials and imagination. It involves tapping into the creative minds of students and guiding them through the engineering design process, where they can explore problems and develop innovative solutions. By introducing STEM challenges to your Makerspace, you are fostering critical thinking and problem-solving skills and creating an environment that encourages curiosity and collaboration. But here's the thing. A perfect Makerspace extension is not just about setting up cool experiments or assembling intricate projects. It's about instilling in students a sense of purpose and fulfillment when they witness their ideas come to life. So instead of sticking to like tried and tested challenges, why not challenge the very notion of what a maker can create? Encourage students to break boundaries, think outside the box, and find unconventional solutions. After all, isn't that what being a maker is all about? So let's ditch the traditional approach for something bold, unexpected, and extraordinary, because we don't want kids making the exact same thing. We're not making a craft. We're making something unique. We're making something different. We want them to think of a solution to a problem and create, and that can look so different for so many different people. But if you need a jumping off point, how about this Halloween Makerspace Story Station 10-pack of challenges accompanying 10 Halloween books? Halloween Makerspace STEM Challenge task cards give busy teachers the tools they need to build a highly engaging collaborative classroom that is inclusive for all types of learners, while also allowing student choice in a makerstation, all while embracing a fun Halloween theme. Maker stations focus on design thinking and allow students to work through the engineering design process and build a classroom community through creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, community, and curiosity without taking up a ton of space. So this 10-pack focuses on 21st century skills and STEAM aspects and integration, and it's never been easier. Each challenge is tied to a Halloween piece of authentic literature that encourages students to think deeply about the text and think critically about solutions for everyday problems in the story and the world around us. So hopefully you will grab those. They're really fun. And if you are in the need of engineering design posters, I have a freebie that you can grab, and I can't remember the link for you to find it for me to tell you on the podcast. So this is one you'll have to go back to the show notes or the blog post and grab that freebie. You can download it and print those posters, and that makes it really easy for kids to remember the process. Working through the engineering design process sometimes feels like playing a never-ending game of answering questions. Engineers constantly seek answers and solutions to improve their designs, from brainstorming ideas to testing prototypes. But what if we approach this process with a small group mindset, where each question becomes an opportunity for collaboration and innovation? Imagine gathering a team of creative students with different perspectives and expertise to tackle an engineering challenge. Together, kids embark on a journey filled with brainstorming sessions and endless trial and error experiments. By sharing the burden of finding answers, the task becomes more manageable and surprisingly enjoyable. And this makes it also inclusive for all types of students in your classroom, because those kids that often struggle, this is when they have the opportunity to really shine, because they're using a different part of their brain, and it's really unbelievable to witness. To add a fun twist to the mix, why not embrace unexpected challenges as opportunities for growth? If the initial idea fails or the prototype breaks during testing, instead of kids feeling discouraged, they learn to view it as a chance to learn from mistakes and make even better iterations. In fact, some of the greatest inventions in history were born out of unforeseen setbacks. So helping kids keep an open mind and remember that every problem is just another exciting puzzle waiting to be solved in the world of engineering design. I love that the most. I think it gives kids a chance to fail safely, to fail forward, to look at failure as just another iteration and not to look at it as the end of the world. Oh, how helpful would that have been for you or for me? It would have had a huge help for me. All right. So in conclusion, the perfect way to inspire creativity and critical thinking through STEM. So when we wrap this all up, we're incorporating STEM into our educational practices. It's the perfect way to inspire creativity and critical thinking in students. By providing hands-on experiences and engaging activities such as fun Halloween STEM challenges through Halloween Makerspace Story Stations, we can tap into their innate curiosity and encourage them to explore new ideas. One key aspect of this learning approach is the importance of designing lesson plans that are not only educational, but also entertaining. And a lesson plan is included inside of my Halloween Makerspace Story Stations. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to do the writing of that. You can copy and paste. When learning feels like play, students are more likely to fully immerse themselves in the subject matter and unlock their creative potential. For instance, introducing a spooky twist to our traditional science experiment or math problems during Halloween can make learning a thrilling adventure. Moreover, integrating technology into the classroom can significantly enhance critical thinking skills among students. All right. So I did give you a link to some more resources on incorporating STEM in Halloween. And so if you want to check that on the blog, then I've linked to all of that. By embracing STEM education with a witty approach and encouraging exploration beyond textbooks, we set our students on a path of discovery where imagination knows no limit. Imagination knows no limit. And that's the kind of learning I love the most. All right, my friend, I hope that you are gearing up for October and that you are feeling prepared and you are feeling empowered and ready to go. Until next time, sweet dreams and sleep tight.